Hey everybody, welcome back. This is going to be video log number 2. I posted something in 2007 once I got back from Peru. Apparently it's something I was very passionate about. I haven't been on this battle cry thing in 3 years. And finally, for some reason, I decided to log on today. And I found it and I said, you know what, this is amazing. So, a little treat for you here, something that I wrote 3 years ago. And I want you to imagine, with me, this world full of people. Everyone's living out their life. They're doing what they do best. And it's just to succeed. As humans, we want to succeed and we want to be successful and rich and all this stuff. And so imagine yourself in this world, and everyone's just doing their own thing. They're making money. They're going to their jobs, everything like that. But there's no light. It's completely dark. The world is dark, and yet the people are still carrying on. They're still doing their daily chores, or daily duties, whatever you want to call them. And you'll see their eyes, after a few years, they have adjusted to the darkness, and so they're able to make their way through the darkness and continue doing their jobs. And you may be asking yourself, okay, well, one, where did the light go? And two, why haven't these people tried to fix the lights? But before we answer these questions, I just want to explain this picture that I had in my head a few years ago. And this was actually a dream that I had had. So just bear with me as I'm reading this. I'm trying to remember everything that happened. But let's see here. For years, Christianity, as we all know, has been on decline, with more and more people turning away from Jesus every day. Just look at the world around us right now. I mean, even the ones who call ourselves Christians, we struggle so much to fight the good fight and to carry on and to follow Jesus. And a lot of people just die off. They quit because it's so hard. It's sad, but I mean it's true. Just take a look around you. But the lights that I'm talking about in this little image I'm giving you, they're not real lights. They're not like a light that you see in a light bulb or anything like that, or a light that's lighting up the sky from any kind of bulb. In fact, the lights, they're working perfectly in this image that we have here. The light bulbs still light up the buildings, and the lamps still fill homes with light, so people can see. And so you're probably saying, okay, Shane, I don't get it. You're saying the world is dark, and people's eyes have adjusted to the dark, and they're carrying on their business, but now you're saying that the lights work. I know, just bear with me. So you're probably like, well, what am I talking about? Well, I mean, if you've read chapter 5 of Matthew, most of us have heard this. I mean, Jesus is talking, and he's saying, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. So, does this answer your question about what the light is? Well, if not, I'll continue to explain. You see, the lights that went off in the world aren't lights that we think of. You see, Jesus called us to be a light into the world, that we may shine in the dark place. And so God will be known and glorified. Okay, that's our light. Is Jesus shining within us, so that people may see who God is and what Jesus has done. But after years and years, it seems that our light has been dim. It's fading out. Or, maybe it wasn't our plan for our light to go out, but the things of the world consumed us. Like I said earlier, it got hard. I mean, yes, it's hard when that temptation comes along and you've got nowhere to hide, or no one to cling to, and are asked to help. But if we'd only remember what God had said. I mean, we all know this. This is basic. What I'm saying, it's basic. God says, I will never leave nor forsake you. We're his children, and he plainly says it. I will never leave or forsake you. And we don't get that in our minds. We're like, God has left me. God is not here anymore. He's somewhere else. And we buy into that lie. But, we're distracted and we don't realize it. We don't realize that he's right in front of us this whole time. But, this isn't just a problem that a few of us face. I'm sure almost every one of us out there has had the decision set before us to either let our fire fan out and die, and our light fade into the darkness. I mean, we've all had a decision to let it all just fade, or to keep our fire burning and to keep our lamp lit. And so this is what the world's come to now. This picture I described earlier, it's not set in the future, it wasn't in the past, it's right now. It's happening right now all over the world. Our fellow Christians, our brothers, our sisters, they're getting their lights burnt out and they're being overcome by the problems of this world. And, the question I ask myself is, what are we going to do to help them? I already answered the question of where the light went. It simply faded slowly as our relationship with Christ faded over time. Until we were too busy to have that hour-long quiet time or pray before we went to sleep at night. But the question still remains of why didn't the people try to fix the light? I mean, the answer is simple, but it can be kind of painful to me. You see, they got comfortable. They got so comfortable in doing their own routine, the same routine, whether it be going to church every week or whatever. They got into this little routine and they got comfortable. Maybe they did go to church for a while, but after listening to sermons, they thought to themselves, wow, I've heard this sermon 1,000,000 times. I could teach this to a deaf kid, and I don't even know sign language. With that kind of mentality, of course, we're going to get comfortable where we're at, and think of what's going on. I mean, it's still happening around us. We're all still getting comfortable in our walk. I can even pinpoint times in my life right now where I found myself getting comfortable with where I was at. Oh, I've heard this already, I don't need to listen to it. No. Read it again and find something new. If I'm not finding anything new, then God really, I'm not really in tune with God if I can't find something new out of Scripture every time I read it. Because that's how infinite God is. But, like I said earlier, we just get so comfortable and we forget that God is here around us. Sometimes we peak as Christians. We're like, oh man, I've peaked. I'm doing so great in my walk. And we think we can't learn anymore. So we just sit here and we camp. We get our little campfire out. We get our s'mores. We sing Kumbaya. We're so comfortable that we just camp out forever. And that's how our light fades. That's how it starts to fade from us. It's when we don't hunger to learn more about our God, our Father, our Creator. If you look up at the sky every night, it's different. It's not the same. You may think, oh, it looks the same, but it's not. Everything is different. And He made it so. And He made it good. There's no end to this story that I'm describing to you with the lights fading. The world goes on, and so do we, which leaves all of us with this one decision. It's either let your light slowly fade over time and you adjust your eyes to the darkness, or you can burn with so much passion that your light reaches into every dark place on this earth as you continue to help light your fellow brothers and sisters' flames. Because we can't do it on our own. If we had that mentality of, I don't need anybody else, I can do this myself, I'll have my own Bible studies, quiet times, I'll do it all by myself. No. We are going to be overcome so quickly. But we need to help each other. We need to help each other accountable and to learn and to grow with each other. It's so easy for me to say, I know which one I'll choose. Do you know what you're going to choose? And it's not a matter of asking yourself that. It's a matter of asking yourself, do you truly burn with a passion for God? Do you truly burn to know your Creator? Do you want to know more about Him? Do you want to know more about this crazy love that He has for you? The next video I'll be talking about a crazy love series. It's my favorite book by Francis Chan, and it's so awesome. Just describing it, God's love for us and our response, what our response should be towards this love.